Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my talk show. By the way, are you sleepy? I'm quite sleepy because I wake until I think 4 o'clock this morning since FOMC was held, Cambodian time 1 o'clock, and FRB announced the interest rate. So usually after announcement of the interest rate, Chairman Mr. Powell has to deliver the remarks. And first half of his remarks, he was mentioning about the situation of U.S. Economy. And remarkably, I noticed that he mentioned that the inflation rate is steadily settled down, both for the sticky price CPI inflation and then the flexible CPI price inflation as well. And then finally, he said that the U.S. economic situation is quite strong. And then after the first session, the other part, he started to talk about the interest rate hike. Later, I would like to mention this using the second PowerPoint. But let me just share some ideas about the dollar, US dollar against the Japanese yen's market sentiment. Okay, let's move on to PowerPoint. Okay. I mentioned strong support of 200 days moving average and a strong resistance of 221 days moving average. Okay. Look at this red line. As you can see, this is a red line, right? This is representing 200 days moving average. And then this white one is a 21st days moving average. I drew this chart this morning around, let's say, 4 o'clock or something. And then I noticed that the dollar yen price movement is strongly supported by this 200 days moving average. After the price going down and hit the 200 days moving average support, the price jump up. But again, if the price reach to the 21-day moving average resistance, price will fell down. So I can presume, including yesterday's FOMC, now the dollar yen price movement is in a very sensitive range between 140 to, let's say, about 142 range. Tomorrow, Friday, Cambodian time, midday, Bank of Japan will announce the result of the Japanese monetary policy things. And now the market is very sensitive against the YCC, yield curve control. And then many people suspect that Japan may change the monetary policy from monetary easing to tightening. This issue also I mentioned at the next page, that because of this market sentiment and fundamental or influence to the market, the price is quite very sensible, okay? 242 to 140. This 2 yen range is quite remarkable. But this afternoon, this 200-day moving average was broken, 139.30 or something. But again, price come back. coming to this range. So we have to be very careful until the next BOJ's monetary policy meeting is the result. Okay, so stay away from the market if you are trading U.S. dollar or Japanese yen, even gold, because of the gold is influenced by the dollar movement against the Japanese yen. So if the dollar is strong, I mean the yen is weak, gold also become weak. So we have to be very careful. Okay. So let me review the yesterday's FOMC. Let's move on to the page 2. Updated for US dollar against the Japanese yen on 27th of July 2023. I wrote this articles. This is one of the part of my articles update. I wrote this around, let's say, 4 o'clock this morning. This morning I slept only 2 hours. Okay, I'm quite sleepy. I'm sorry about my bad speech. Okay, I made this text. Text said, firstly, there is ongoing speculation. Speculation is a kind of observation. Okay, observation about the lengthening of the tightening cycle by the Fed. While Mr. Powell mentioned the possibility of not raising a rate in September FOMC meeting, Mr. Powell mentioned maybe September they will not raise the interest. Okay, he also mentioned the possibility of a rate hike in September. Therefore, it is premature to view his comment as dovish. Okay, as his stance is dependent on future inflation and the labor indicator. So we have to be very careful for the CPI and then the next non-farm payroll. Okay, as I mentioned to you many times. Okay, as a central bank of the United States, FRB, they have a dual mandate. Dual means two mandate responsibility. It's maintain the stable inflation and maximize the employment. So due to this dual mandate concept, Mr. Powell still has to check the data of the inflation rate and then the labor indicator parts, particularly non-farm payrolls. Okay, and so this is the first point I want to share with you from the previous Mr. Powell's remarks. And second, sharing to you to consider is, secondly, there is a continued speculation. Again, this speculation is observation. Okay, about the continuation of monetary easing by the Bank of Japan, BOJ. Recent comments from BOJ Governor, Mr. Ueda. Mr. Ueda is a new governor. And speculation from Bloomberg suggests that there is a high likelihood of no changes to monetary easing at the upcoming BOJ's policy meeting. It means the market participant is now worrying maybe Japan might change the monetary policy from monetary easing to the tightening. But Mr. Ueda didn't mention very clearly, and also Bloomberg also expect that he might not change the Japanese monetary policy. So Japan will still going to maintain easing, QE version mode. Okay. Thirdly, there is a speculation of the widening the interest rate differential between the US and Japan. If Japan still wants to maintain this low interest rate, and there is some possibility, right? that the FRB might increase the interest rate. Okay, so this time already they decided to increase the 25 basis point. So now terminal rate is from 5.25% to 5.5%. But Mr. Powell didn't mention clearly, it depends on the data of the CPI and non-farm payroll, okay? If the figure is good, you see, maybe inflation will go up. So he might increase the interest maybe one more time, okay? So it follows that still we have a possibility that there is a big gap between Japan interest rate and then the US interest rate. As far as this idea is concerned, leading to resumption of the yen carry trade, okay? Yen carry trade, do you know? I explained many times, right? Japan currency, Japanese yen, we have no interest rate, okay? But US, as I mentioned to you, their terminal rate already hit the 5.5%. So borrow the low interest rate currency, I mean Japanese yen, and then buy high interest rate, currency such as US dollar. So you can make the substantial profit by this kind of arbitrage trading, okay? This kind of trade is called yen carry trade, okay? Borrow cheap Japanese yen and then use this Japanese yen. Funding cost is very low, right? Because the interest rate is really nothing, okay? So use this low funding cost currency and change to US dollar, means buy US dollar, okay? Leading to the blah, 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 blah. And also yesterday, I was also noticed that if the US dollar strong, usually the stock side, the stock trading, share trading, okay, become weak. This is a negative correlation. But lastly, the stock market has been performing well. Suggesting a risk on the environment, on the potential factors for yen selling. Okay, even we have a lot of risk factors. Stock price was doing good yesterday. Okay, so now I can say that we are now in the period of uncertainty. We cannot expect, we cannot predict the market, the trend easily. So many things are very complicated, and market will not move according to our expectation, our theory, our logic. Sometimes the market become very crazy, okay? So until next midday in Cambodian time, I do suggest you not to touch dollar yen the contract, and also if you are a gold trader, be careful. Always pay attention to the US dollars, the movement, okay? So these are for my sharing for you today under the title of After FOMC and Just Before the BOJ's Monetary Policy Meeting, okay? Okay, thank you very much for your watching and stay tuned with us. Thank you.